Hello and welcome back to another episode of My Father Before Me. We're back this time to review the 1985 classic Commando. It is directed by Mark L. Lester, written by Jeph Loeb, Matthew Weisman, and Stephen E. D'Souza, and stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ray Don Chong, Dan Hedaya, Vernon Wells, James Olsen, and David Patrick Kelly, and Alyssa Milano. There we go. I was trying to find her name. A little farther down than I
Was she
expected.
in Introducing? I don't know.
I don't know. It didn't say in the...
No, you know what? I think she was on Who's the Boss. I think before then she was on Who's the Boss.
All right. But as you can tell, I am once again, as always, joined by my father and co-host, Tori Sem. How are you doing, Dad?
I'm doing wonderful.
All right. I think it is time for us to jump right into the movie. So as always, we'll begin with a brief non-spoiler review. What did you think revisiting Commando?
Well, Commando is, the Arnold Schwarzenegger vehicle. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you would think a Terminator with Arnold, but of course he only had a few lines in that one. So when we...
one of which is repeated in this movie.
That's right. and becomes the line that we know him for, I suppose, because we talked about it in Running Man. But, going back to Arnold Schwarzenegger, because Running Man is on top of our mind here, you can definitely see the beginnings of things that he would be known for, all the one-liners. This is the quintessential, Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie.
Definitely.
Right. And I think that, or when I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger action, this is what I think of, right? We talked about Running Man as well. All very similar in that the whole vehicle is just for Arnold to fight and drop one-liners.
Yeah, pretty much.
And of course, this has the distinction of a huge kill count. I don't know, for some period, I think it was one of the highest kill counts that you could see. But it is the Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie that I think of when I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger action movies.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of Arnold going on here. I mean, the first time we see him, we don't even see his face. It's just up close shots of his big bulging muscles covered in sweat as he carries a log.
Yeah. That's the and we did actually talk about that because in Running Man, isn't there a scene? Don't we get introduced to him there? He's carrying a big pipe or whatever when he's in that prison thing or something.
So.
Yeah,
I don't really remember that, to be honest with you. We reviewed that movie a long time ago. And speaking of, that is going to be re-uploaded in 2 weeks in what's the word I'm looking for? In commemorating the new Running Man?
Yeah, I don't know if it's in memoriam. It's not in memoriam.
Yeah, I think they're alive. Whatever. In honor of
maybe the old Running Man is dead because the new Running Man is going to usurp it as the best adaptation.
Now we're talking. But that is going to be up in 2 weeks. As far as Commando goes, I think this movie was interesting. There was a lot of fun going on here. This is, like you mentioned, the quintessential Arnold vehicle, the quintessential 80s action movie. It's such a hallmark of the time.
Yes.
But it is really fun. There are some good moments. We talk about the one-liners, and there's some I really like some of the cast here. But I think at this point, we're going to go ahead and get into the spoiler section. So, Dad, where do you want to start off things?
Well, I think the fun part about it, and I was just trying to look it up, because originally it wasn't written for Arnold Schwarzenegger. I see Nick Nolte here. At some point I saw, was it Ace Frehley or who was it? The guy from Kiss. Who they wanted to do it for a little bit because he was trying to get into movies a little bit. I can't remember which.
Is it
guy.
The main guy?
I don't know if who's the guy other than Ace Frehley from Kiss. I'm trying.
Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons. That's who it was. So originally it was going to be. It started out for Nick Nolte, which would have been a different movie, right? Around this time, Nick Nolte did 48 Hours. I think that was probably around this time, and where he's kind of a grumpy old cop, which we'll probably get to that one sometime when we do our Eddie Murphy retrospective or something. But he would have been a different choice for it. I think the point of it was the Arnold thing, and I think that this movie did kick off a little bit of the rivalry between Arnold and Sylvester Stallone. Because there's a line in here when he meets the big guy in the hotel room, and he talks about being a Green Beret, and Arnold says, "I eat Green Berets for breakfast." Well, Rambo, he was a Green Beret, so there's a little bit of a line there just to kind of get at that, that little rivalry that started going there at the time. So.
That's interesting. I've pretty sure I've seen First Blood. I didn't remember that he was a Green Beret though. That's really funny.
Well, and that turned into the action. That's another one where the sequels became action films. Where the first one wasn't necessarily. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a really crazy series.
Yes, it is.
It's so fun though. What would have been? Oh, okay. First Blood was 82. For some reason, I was thinking it was like 79. I don't know.
And part 2 came out, in 85 as well. So we had our little thing there where the box office was these two guys, as far as action movies.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and this may be a hot take. More of a Sly Stallone guy than Arnold. I like Arnold a lot.
Well, we haven't done the full, you haven't done True Lies. We haven't done all the Arnold stuff that we could throw out there. We could find some fun stuff. Don't forget Twins.
With Danny
D.
D.
Good comedy there. So.
I might be certain that's getting a reboot.
I don't know. At one point there was going to be a threequel, because they had a sequel, I think. Or maybe there was going to be a sequel. Now I can't. But when going back to Eddie Murphy was the third twin.
Oh.
So triplet.
What's the Arnold movie where he goes, "It's not a tumor"?
That's Kindergarten Cop.
Oh yeah.
Yes, where the little kid says, because he says he's got a headache, the little kid says it might be a tumor.
Yeah, Arnold, he's got some good one-lines for sure.
Yeah, he does.
In this movie, they are absolutely insane.
Well, that's all it is. All of his line writing is little thing. He might don't mess with my friend here. He's dead tired.
Yeah. What did you do with Sully? I let him go.
I let him go. Yeah.
Which there's no way she didn't know what happened to that guy. She was right there. It would have been so easy to hear him scream as he fell down the mountain.
Well, even she knew by that point that her whole role in this movie was to tee him up for the one-liners.
Oh yeah, she was great. I had a lot of fun with her.
Yes, Ray Dawn Chong, daughter of Tommy Chong.
Oh, really?
From Cheech and Chong. Yep,
that's funny.
Yeah, she and I thought I knew her from more things, but I think she got a real. Right around the same time she was in a movie called Quest for Fire that I think was kind of a well-known, or where she really got known for. I can't remember when that was, but
we've talked about that on the show. That's one that I want to see. 81 is when it came out.
Yeah.
Was this the one we talked about, or was it? I know I have talked to you about wanting to watch this. I can't remember if you decided that this wasn't one that you felt
it is not. I'm going to be honest. I've never seen it.
Okay.
So I can't offer any opinion on this one at all. So
there's definitely somebody in this movie though that we have talked about on a previous episode.
I imagine there is, because I know that movie was Ron Perlman. There you go. I'm sure we brought up Ron Perlman. If we haven't, then we should have. Of course, we never did our Hellboy or anything.
No, unfortunately. Although those would be really fun to do.
Well, those are ones we got to get Shayde involved in. Well, maybe he's seen them. I don't know.
He's definitely seen them. I think he's seen all of them, and I haven't seen the David Harbour one or the other recent one.
Oh yeah, there is one that I did see. Before we roll back to our Arnold stuff, but there is one recently that came out that was kind of a low budget one that I actually heard was pretty decent.
The Crooked Man.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious about that one as well. I was trying to look up and see where I could see it. At one point, I don't think I found where it was streaming at the time. Well, it's on Hulu, so that's promising.
Allegedly, but sometimes IMDb lies about that stuff.
I could believe that. So that may be one I need to pull out and take a look at. So.
Well, and I like that character in that story in the actual Hellboy comics. I was excited because this one was supposed to have the approval of Mike Mignola, the guy who created it.
It's worth a view, and I think we might have to pull that one up one of these days. So
yeah. Anyways, back to Commando.
Speaking of Commando.
Yeah, the writing in this movie was insane. The story was psychotic, but is a classic "My Father Before Me" trope. We even have the ticking clock.
Yes,
11 hours
on his watch. Yes, he had that great little ticking clock there. Jumping out of planes. Some quality stuff there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I will have to say, that scene when he's climbing down on the out of the landing gear, they actually have a rig set up. Obviously, he's not jumping out of a plane, but they had a rig set up with the landing gear that he was actually hanging from and moving pretty quick, So, I mean, he did some of his own stuff.
Yeah, he was Tom Cruise before Tom Cruise.
That's right. Well, he's twice Tom Cruise, but Maybe I don't know if that's size or.
Oh, I understood. I was
Yes.
like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? I think Arnold would be a fun would be a fun Mission Impossible villain.
Well, we already had our Henry Cavill in there doing cocking his
Yeah,
guns,
reloading his arms. There's a funny joke where when he reloads his arms, he grows a beard. No, I think so. If we're gonna compare this, because I've seen some Arnold movies, this is obviously not on anywhere near the level of like the first two Terminators.
No.
I would say this is still a step below Predator, but this is probably one that like I might, even though I don't think it's as good and I don't like it as much, I might revisit this more than I would revisit Predator.
I think that this is one that you can sit back and I was looking forward to rewatching it when we did find where we could stream it, which incidentally is because somebody broke the law and put it on YouTube. And,
well, now it's on
had our
Tubi.
waves. Yeah.
I watch it on Tubi.
Oh, well, that's good, man. I missed that too. But Tubi's got commercials. I watch it without commercials.
Oh, their commercials are so There's so many of them too.
Well, I don't know how many times you saw that you shouldn't take that drug with tuberculosis or whatever. So that's all we see anymore. I will have to say, Commando is one of those that I remember as a kid. Of course, okay, so it came out when I was 10. I don't remember. Obviously, I didn't go to the theater to watch it, but I do remember watching it at a friend's house and remembering, remembering the fight in the motel, right? For two different reasons, of course. You got the gratuitous quick nude shot, and then you've got him thrown down, and the table leg goes through the guy, right? And those are all things that I remember getting stuck in my head as a kid watching this movie, and of course the big fight scene at the end. I as I've said before, I wasn't much in the way of blood and guts slasher kind of things. So when he's in the tool shed and he comes out throwing, the blades and stuff, and that there were a couple scenes there that I don't think I watched as a kid. I think I actually looked away because I knew what was going to happen there, because I'm not a big guy on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
you didn't watch the guy's whole head get chopped off?
No, I did this time, but yeah.
Yeah,
and
that
then,
was crazy.
So there is a scene where he cuts off a guy's arm, and I know that they said that in one of the making of featurettes, they actually went a little far with that, and he took the arm and hit the guy with it, and instead they did a quick little cut where he's just kind of throwing it down on him when he's on the ground. But
that's funny. I will say those two things were incredibly unexpected. This definitely just felt like the type of movie where he's gonna, throw some knives at people,
right,
blow some people up, but he's mostly gonna be shooting people. And so when even the pitchfork when he stabs the guy, that makes sense. But cutting the top of a dude's head off with a saw blade was a bit much.
Well, it's the American version of a ninja star. So.
Yeah. Which about the explosion, so we're jumping ahead a little bit to the end. It really irritated me because we only saw him plant like 2 mines or whatever, okay? And we saw him plant 2 separate buildings just like outside the doors or whatever. When the buildings blow up, they blow up perfectly from every side.
Obviously, what happened was those were the buildings that housed all the explosives. So it was a little trigger there. Yeah. What do we need to see him set up all of those? I mean, obviously, he got those all from a surplus store. So he had plenty of them. I'm sure they must have had a whole load of them at the surplus store. So
it's crazy that he could just drive a bulldozer through the window of that surplus store, and there was like nobody there for like 10 minutes.
Well,
the police response time.
Yeah, they gave him time to do his shopping, but
yeah. Well, and how did they get him? But the lady, Radon Chong, was just able to walk away.
Well,
get in her car.
So, and I was watching for this because I remembered this, but he said, okay, take this to the car, and obviously he went back in for more. So she must have just been around the block. Well, you had to be out of the way of the bulldozer. So obviously it was around the side of the building. They didn't even see it.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. She's not carrying a cart with an actual rocket launcher in it.
And I did notice that when she's putting the rocket launcher in the cart, they actually have the instructions for the rocket launcher, because she has her own one-liner where he says, how'd you learn to do that? She says, I read the instructions.
Yeah.
They actually showed the little pamphlet, the instruction pamphlet sitting there.
I didn't recognize that. That's funny. I will say, did they set up early on the fact that she was getting her pilot's license, or
She
did they
does
just
say
throw
it
that
early. At some
Okay.
point, she did say it. And I can't remember when she did, but she did mention something about getting her pilot's license. Because yeah, she knew real quick how much fuel, what kind of range they would need for this kind of fuel, and that sort of thing. But then, it's always the trope. She gets in the plane and it's some old plane, and she didn't know how to fly it. But yeah, they did actually set up something. I can't even remember when the conversation was, but I remember her saying something about getting her pilot's license.
Okay, because the only time I remember it is when this is after they kill Bill Duke, the guy in the motel or whatever. They figure out to go to this warehouse or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, they fill small planes here, private jets and whatever."
Right.
And he's like, "How do you know that?" "Well, I'm getting my pilot's license, and that's where the instructor goes." I was like, "Did you say that earlier? Because if not, that's super
Well,
convenient."
now I'm nervous that maybe that's the only time she said that. I'll go back and rewatch. No, I'm awful. I thought I remember picking that up at one point because I remembered, oh yeah, because she gets to fly him, and
Yeah.
stuff, so.
Yeah, her as soon as they introduced her, after Arnold jumps out of the plane or whatever, I was like, okay, well, she's gonna be here for the full time.
Right.
And at first I was like, okay, well, you're not really doing much here. But then as soon as Arnold tears the seat out of her car in the parking garage and her reactions, I was like, all right, I'm in. I get
you
it.
could have just laid the seat down and laid back a little bit, Arnold. I don't think you need to yank the whole thing out.
Yeah, and my favorite part is when he's driving the car, and so she gets in the side. You can see her fall backwards.
Yeah, they kept the continuity going there pretty well. So.
Yeah, that was fun. One place where they didn't keep the continuity is back at the end when he's got the belt-fed machine gun.
Yes.
Every single cut, the belt is at a different length.
Yes, it is. Well, there was also, so when he's running the car off the road, when he's talking to the first guy that he ends up dropping off the side of the cliff,
Sully.
there is a shot where they're doing the car chase, ramming into the side, and then a little bit later, that side is completely clean. There's no damage or nothing. So
Yeah.
they didn't worry about that as much, I suppose.
Oh man, yeah, this was a wild movie from start to finish.
It was, and it's a quick movie too. I can't remember the runtime, but I mean, it is
hour and a half, I think.
Yeah, they smash 11 hours. Yeah, hour and a half is decent, but it does keep moving at a pace, right? That keeps you rolling. In fact, I think in the it might say it in the trivia, but I also saw it on a little featurette that they even had a little love scene planned to try to put that little thing in there, but it ruined the pacing of things. And I can imagine, because this was just kind of a an end-to-end quick movie to get this situated, right? Get this going. So,
well, and they do kind of plant the seeds for the the love story a little bit there, especially when Arnold is getting ready to go off to the island and he's basically completely naked
Right.
and she's staring after him wistfully and smiling.
Well, he swims faster when he's in his Speedo. So,
yeah. Which, that didn't make much sense to me. Why did you? I mean, I get it because we got to get the cool
it's
scene of him getting
bodybuilder
ready.
Arnold, yeah. And then he's gearing up and he's got putting the face paint on and everything. And it's like, okay, it's not nighttime.
Yeah.
And you're just putting on the black paint. It's like, you're not really hiding there. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm no Commando, but I don't know if that works or not. But.
I doubt it. There's no way it helped. Well, and it doesn't matter because, it obviously doesn't help because he's just running in the middle of the yard.
Right. At one point, the guys at the tower look down and say, "Hey," and start shooting.
Yeah. So. And then Arnold blasts him to pieces.
Well, of course he does.
Yeah. There's a little bit lacking there. Could have done. I mean, I don't get why it wasn't at nighttime.
Well, it's 11 hours. No, I don't know.
Sure.
Which I've tried to. Well, so it went overnight, right? Because they're at the hotel at nighttime. So that 11-hour window went overnight. I guess we had to.
And I'm pretty
break
sure
into the morning,
it's still it's night when they go to the surplus store, and it looks like it's dead night. And then they say it only takes 2 hours to fly to the island, and it's like midday.
I am sure they completely did all the time math. There's no travel going on here at all. So.
Yeah, I don't know. The movie definitely had its moments.
Well, and the 11 hours times just to when Alyssa Milano exactly breaks out of that, because he goes in there at the 11-hour time. He goes out back there and he looks through the hole that she made, and she's running off in the distance. So I mean, it was perfectly timed. She did her escape just right.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I feel like 11 hours is a long time.
Well, it's a long flight to Valverde, or that's where it was.
That was the island.
And that's another thing is Valverde is actually, has become kind of a thing that you can use. In fact, I think Did we do? I don't think we did Die Hard 2, but I think that the general is from Valverde.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that Valverde country has become a fake country. I think it's referenced in Predator, of course, another Arnold movie and that sort of thing. So I think that that's something that has become a little, a little bit of a made up thing that has persisted through multiple films.
That's fun. If I ever make a B-level action movie, I can guarantee you somebody will be from Valverde.
Somebody's from Valverde. Well, and it's great. It's fun. We've got all of our connections here. We've got our Arnold and that Bill Duke that you mentioned earlier. He's obviously an iconic guy. He was in Predator.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got a lot of overlap, or, we've always talked about all this cannibalism we have in these action movies, and we see the same people everywhere. Yeah.
One thing that I do want to talk about in this movie is like the villains here.
Yes.
Interesting, weird, in short, if I'm going to put it in easy terms. We have Hedaya as Arius, go ahead.
I know him a bunch. And I thought he was on it a lot more, but your grandpa used to watch Cheers.
Oh,
and I love Cheers. And he was one of the waitress's husband, who was kind of he was this kind of guy. Although he's just kind of an Italian rough and tumble guy. He's not, that accent is fake. You'll be surprised. From Commando.
It was hidden very well.
Yes. And, they definitely, I think they were going for the Scarface thing because his death is very similar to Scarface, spoiler alert, and that sort of thing. So it's they were trying to pull that out, but yeah, that guy I know from, and he's one of those bit players you've seen in lots of different movies as well, or shows, probably more television than anything else. I feel like I know, but he's one of those guys you always recognize, very recognizable dude. So.
I just found out his most well known or whatever on IMDb is in The Usual Suspects of all things.
He's one of those guys that I've always seen him as kind of he'd be perfect in some sort of an Italian mobster role or something like that, right? But not one of the head guys, right? Mm-hmm. He's always been a side actor, a bit player kind of thing, that kind of guy. He's the old guy who screws up or something like that,
right? Like a Clemenza or a Luca Brasi in The Godfather, the guy who gets sent on a job and messes up and gets killed.
Yep,
and then he gets sent back in a box or whatever. That makes sense. He was interesting. I don't know. It's another one of those things. I think I said this for Lethal Weapon 2, where I'm like, even though there's obviously the deeper connection with the other villain, this guy's the lead guy or whatever, so I feel like he should be killed last.
Right.
But whatever.
Well, he's the lead, but he's not the foil. He's not he's not the reverse of Arnold, right? And that's Vernon Wells.
Bennett.
Who, incidentally, he was not originally cast. I think they fired the guy who was going to be in that role like right before shooting started, and that's why Vernon's costume looks so tight. Because they didn't even have a budget to make a new costume.
That's really funny.
So his costume, his pants, and that chainmail shirt he's wearing always look like they're too tight on him.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Why is he literally wearing chainmail?
And he said, and I think in interviews, he's called himself the evil Freddie Mercury.
Because of the mustache?
Right.
That's
the mustache
really
and the sleeveless shirt, and everything. And
that's really funny. I did not like him one bit.
No, he did not hold up at all.
I could not.
Which I think he's an Australian actor. I think he was on Road Warrior. He was one of the bad guys. Which we never did. Road Warrior.
We did Beyond Thunderdome, and that's it. It's still the only Mad Max movie I've seen.
We're gonna have to roll back into those. And Weird Science is another one we're gonna roll through one of these days.
We've talked about Inner Space.
Yes, and Inner Space. That's right. I forgot. Oh, I forgot he was in Inner Space. Yeah. We're gonna have to. So he's appeared in multiple influential movies that we still have to cover. I thought we were running out of movies, but we've got plenty to do. So
yeah, well, unfortunately, most of them are really not available.
Oh darn, that sucks for you.
Well, which one? Weird Science is on Netflix. You don't have Netflix, I don't think.
No, I'll be bringing that one back here shortly.
Getting ready for Stranger
Things. We're doing
our
streaming service rotation because I refuse to pay the same as my old cable bill just to have all the streaming services.
Speaking of streaming services, I'm really mad. Quick sidebar, because now we're doing a review of It might be out by the time this video comes out. We will have done a review of Peacemaker season 2. I haven't started it yet because I can't watch HBO Max anymore, so now I have to get my own for a show that I don't even want to watch.
Oh, did it finally boot you out?
Yes,
yeah, it
I'm
booted
mad
out.
about it.
We were mooching off Brady for too long. It finally booted us out a while ago. So we had to, and of course now we've got the stupid commercial version because we're cheap. And yes, we get to learn all the different pills that you can't take with TB. So,
anyways. That just makes me mad.
More sidebars, which I want to watch Peacemaker too. So.
Well, I don't want to watch it is the thing because I know it's going to be. It's not.
Well, you're not
for
a
me.
James Gunn.
Yeah, it's not made for me, so I know I'm not going to like it. But we have to watch it because it's the next thing in the DCU. So now I have to spend $10 a month for something I don't want to watch.
Oh, there's other things on Max that you want to watch.
There's my list on Max.
I don't think you ever did House of the Dragon yet. Don't you have to do that?
I watched. So I watched the first season, and I think I watched the first half of the second season, but I never finished it.
Yeah, you got to catch up. Well, not necessarily.
And Duncan Egg or Night of the Seven Kingdoms is January. So.
Right, and I read those, and I'm looking forward to that. So
yeah, and we got Lanterns coming out sometime next year, which I'm super excited for.
$10 well spent.
$10 that won't be well spent for at least 2 more months. So it's $30.
You're still using our Disney, right?
Yeah. No, I have my own Disney.
Okay, well, see, isn't there like a Disney? I think there's a Disney Max bundle. Maybe that'll save you a little bit.
I've been trying to find out how to add it, but I can't do it. There's no way to add it from the Disney Plus website. And if you go on HBO to do the bundle, you have to buy a whole new thing.
Oh, and
so
then
I'd have to
lose all your viewing history.
Yes, I'm so mad about it. If you're going to do the bundle, make it easy to add.
That's stupid. Oh. Let's go back to cable. It was so nice when everything was $400 a month and all in one spot.
All right, Commando.
Old man talk done. So let's go back to a movie from 1985.
Oh, this is the 40th anniversary of this movie.
Well, it should be. We are very timely with our reviews.
I wonder what month it came out. Wouldn't it be funny if it came out in November or whenever we're releasing this? October. Oh, we're so close.
We are right on. There you go. See, now you've got your tagline, 40th anniversary special. How come they didn't really release this in theaters? I think I know why.
Oh, man. Anyways, Bennett sucks. I didn't like him one bit.
And I didn't like the way he died either.
Yeah.
We could blow off some steam.
It was a great one-liner, but yeah, the idea that Arnold could throw this pipe so hard that it would go not just through his entire body, but
wearing chainmail,
through the pipe behind him, so that the steam could come out the front of it.
Yeah, and those are that's industrial stuff back there. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, Arnold, he's Mr. Olympia. Like I don't know how many times.
Well, it's the physics. There's no aerodynamics in that pipe at all, so that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, it was rough. This is definitely yeah. The more that we talk about it, the more I think about it, the less likely I am to revisit this. I think
it's worth it. It's worth a watch every now and then. Now, like I saw it as a kid. I know that I've watched it a couple times since then, and then of course I rewatched it this past week. So, I mean, it's definitely worth a viewing.
It's fun. It's fun for sure. I was trying to figure out how many times he was Mr. Olympia. It looks like it was 7.
That's all. Sequential.
Which, have you ever seen Pumping Iron? That's a great one.
Yes, you've mentioned that one.
It's really fun. He's got a weird line in there, I will say. I'm not going to say it here because this is a family-friendly show.
It probably doesn't hold up, no.
Anyways.
Imagine that. Something said back then and not holding up now.
What do you think? We're slowly beginning to wind things down. So, Dad, what do you think, or rather, who do you think is the best actor in Commando?
Boy, I don't know, because I'm not going to call Arnold an actor. Best actor. I shouldn't say that. He is good for what he does.
Yes.
And he does what he does very well, but he's not necessarily, at least at this stage. I mean, we could argue that when he gets into Kindergarten Cop, when he gets into True Lies, True Lies is an action movie, but it's different, right? There's a little bit more to it. When we get into some of the later stuff, he gets his acting chops a little bit. This isn't that, right? This is Arnold flexing his muscles and saying the one-liners that somebody puts on the screen for him, and that kind of thing. And I'm not degrading the guy, because I seeing featurettes on this, he took it seriously. He took acting seriously even back then. He wasn't just one of those guys just doing it, right? I mean, So I'm not going to say anything like that. I'm not going to degrade him in that way. But as far as in that way, especially considering he's big and he can still kick my ass, I guess I got to get. So if he's not, then I got to throw it to Radon Chong for just playing off of him and knowing what movie she's in, right? And she gets a couple lines herself. She's not entirely just the lady who's along for the ride to scream and get in trouble, right? I mean, she doesn't even get captured, I guess. She's not the traditional getting captured and rescued kind of thing.
She actually saves him.
Right. Yeah.
From the cops.
That's true. And, just by reading the manual, which is something that I never do. So, I guess if we, there's not a lot of choices in this movie, so I guess I'll give it to her.
That's who I'm going to say too. I thought she was really funny. My favorite moment with her is after they leave the mall or whatever, and this is when Arnold is driving, and she's just screaming about, she's like, you started a shootout in the mall, you stole my car, you ripped out my seat. And I'm going to throw a little shade at her. She conveniently left out the part where she sent the cops after him.
Yeah, because she does say, I even helped you or whatever. It's like, no, she actually didn't. She just went to the cops.
I think the line is, I graciously agreed to help you.
Right.
She didn't do anything. But no, I think it's her. I'm going to give an honorable mention to Alyssa Milano because she was fun for however little she's in the movie.
Right. And you can tell what she's doing. She's a kid whose dad was away on military missions and stuff. So even then, you can kind of see it at the beginning when that general shows up. She's worried about him having to go away and do his thing again.
Yeah, right? She understands.
Yeah.
One thing that I wish we could have seen, and it would, if it happened, I probably would have been like, really? She's like 8 years old. But considering in the opening montage where the credits roll or whatever, we see him teaching her how to fight,
right?
Doing some little elbows. Would have been nice to see her beat up Bennett, and then that's the way that she gets away.
Well, yeah, there's always the quick shot to some sensitive area that Arnold would have taught her, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Alyssa Milano and Radon Chong, classics. What do you think is the best scene in the movie?
I mean, it's got to be the end thing because that is what this movie builds up to.
That
right? I talk about impactful scenes. I talk about, I still remember the fight in the motel and the ending of that when he's got the table leg stuck through his chest. And of course, I like Bill Duke. Like I said, he's a iconic dude that I've seen in a lot of things, right? So of course that's fun. And every time I, back in the day when I used to go to work in Omaha and just get a cheap hotel for the, while I was driving down there, I always pictured somebody coming pounding through the door, the wall, and stuff. So it's kind of a fun thing there. You know what? I'm going to stick with that. That's going to be my scene. I like the motel scene. So.
That's fair. I like that one. That was definitely a lot of fun. I think personally, I am gonna go with the mall scene because that's the first moment where you really get to see Arnold be Arnold. He's getting swarmed by 8 cops and he does a classic comic book move. He just raises his arm and everybody goes flying.
Right.
We get to see him pick up a phone booth with Sully in it and smash it on the ground.
Yes. And I think she even in her little rant, doesn't she mention that you picked up a phone booth?
Yeah. And then he swings down using a big balloon. Yeah. This is the moment where I was like, this is quintessential Arnold.
And
to
this
use that
this
phrase.
is the movie. It definitely is.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. So I'm gonna go with that because I think that I had a lot of fun with that scene.
I mean, honorable mention has got to be the ending battle.
Yeah,
because I think that for a while, and I could be wrong on this, but I think that for a while it had the record for the most on-screen kills. I think it was like 106 or something like that.
That's a lot.
And then the actual someday we get to our Beverly Hills Cop. The actual when he gets to the fancy house towards the end, that is the same house that's used in Beverly Hills Cop, and I thought they said it's used in a couple scenes in The Godfather. That building, that estate or whatever towards the end. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it was some other thing that some other classic movie reference, but that estate has been used in lots of movies, and it's actually in a shootout in Beverly Hills Cop. When we get to that. So it just, which was kind of fun. And I was watching it and I was remembering that. I was like, man, that looks familiar. And then I saw that in the trivia. So
that's funny. I always like when they can reuse sets and things like that. It makes for fun Easter eggs, and enjoyable if you can recognize it.
You bet.
As a joke, I did almost say my favorite scene of the movie was when we see Arnold with the log.
Well, I
Just
mean
'cause
that's the iconic scene too.
it lasted
Yes.
for so long. It was so funny because we had to zoom in on both of his biceps. We had to get like 3 cuts looking at his boots for some reason before we actually see his face.
Well, just so you know, this is what we're dealing with. They had to establish that right away. It's like when you establish the scene, the location with establishing shots. You know, this is our Arnold establishing
The
shot.
geography of the
Yes.
body, yes. All right, but I think we're going to go ahead and leave it there. So comment down below what you guys think of Commando, the 1985 classic, arguably the best action movie ever made. Make sure that you like and subscribe down below for more nerd content and commentary. And as I said, 2 weeks from now, we're going to be re-uploading the video where we first reviewed the original Arnold Running Man. Man, that was an old setup too, and the audio quality is probably not going to be very good, but you're just going to go ahead and sit and enjoy it.
Well, you've got time. Why don't you remaster it?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I have any of the original files.
Redo the special effects. Yeah, I think we can do this right.
Yeah, well, George Lucas it. But all right, I think we're going to go ahead and leave it there, and we will see you guys next time to talk more about all things nerdy.